welcome to Discovery Base Camp 1, filming at the Highlands Museum in Ashland, Kentucky. I love this place.
This place is so awesome. Right now we're downstairs in the Discovery area. This area, the kids love to play, and you can come here with your family, let your kids go and not have to worry about them for
I used to come here all the time.
As a matter of fact, don't you have a picture hanging up there when you were a kid?
When I was an artist in kindergarten. My self-portrait is still hanging here from like 17 years ago.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as usual on Discovery's Base Camp 1, I'm here finding myself in a prickly situation.
Ooh, we've got a prickly pocket pet with us here today. But first off, why don't we have our live audience introduce themselves?
Come on up here, buddy.
Stand up and say your name.
Say your name.
What's your name, bud?
Aiden.
Aiden.
Right.
Hello.
Colton.
I'm Ariana.
Ariana.
I'm
Lily.
Lily.
Jacob.
Jacob.
I'm Hallie.
And Ellie.
All
Awesome.
right, give yourselves an applause. Today is going to be really fun. We're going to talk more about the cute and cuddlies like hedgehogs. All right, that thing looks awesome. What do you call her?
This is Pixie. She is an African pygmy hedgehog, and she is super adorable.
When we come back, we're going to learn about Pixie and hedgehogs.
Welcome to the Highlands Museum and Discovery Center.
Come on, let's go see what's inside. The Highlands Museum and Discovery Center is not only full of tons of history, but it's also a lot of fun.
Here's a sneak peek of Country Music Heritage Hall, which features Highway 23 entertainers and many local bluegrass artists. In the military exhibit located on the mezzanine level at the museum is the proposed replica of the Boyd County Honor Roll Memorial Wall.
Also in the military exhibit is one of the Highlands' most famous artifacts. It is Hitler's bedside phone, and yes, it is real.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next event?
Whether you have 50 people or up to 500,
Ashland's largest conference center has you covered. Adults and children of all ages enjoy our Discovery Center located in the lowest level of the Highlands Museum. To the Highlands Museum!
Aye, aye, Captain.
I'm Ranger Rebecca, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about Heritage Farm Museum and Village in Huntington, West Virginia. So here we are in the Heritage Farm Petting Zoo, and I'm with Thunder. We have all kinds of fun animals for your kids to be able to have an up-close interaction with. We are currently in the General Store Museum, and this is to show you what going to Walmart would have been like back in the 1800s. Our Transportation Museum has everything from some original Model Ts to a lot of things about trains, and 1908 electric truck, and more. It's really fun to come see how progress started with how we go from here to here. So it's really an interesting feel. It throws you back in time. If you haven't been here before, we hope you come out. There's lots of great things to do.
Ranger Rebecca, let me tell you a little bit about what I find fascinating about these hedgehogs. First of all, are their quills. That's a way to protect themselves. They have about 8,000 quills on their body. And one of the ways that they protect themselves is to actually curl up so that the quills surround their whole body. Now, underneath their body, underneath the quills, is softness, okay? The face is soft and furry. Can you tilt him up a little bit?
Yeah.
See, the bottom is furry and soft. Look at that.
She didn't like being exposed.
and it's that reason that they curl up into a ball in which to protect themselves. Now, a second way of protecting themselves is they spit on themselves, okay? So what she does is when she goes into a new area, let's say she comes to me, okay? She might smell me and I smell different
licking
from
you,
Rebecca. She'll start licking me and she'll take the scent from me, mix it with her own saliva, and smell like me. Poor thing.
It's really funny whenever I try like a new shampoo or body lotion or whatever, she'll lick it all up and then lick it all over herself to try to smell like it. But it's not just a defense they have to want to smell pretty. They actually do this with like poisonous plants in Africa, their habitat, so that are not poisonous to them, but are poisonous to potential predators. And so they smell like this poisonous plant, and if the quills weren't enough to deter the predator, the poison would be.
What is the difference between a porcupine and a hedgehog?
That is a good question. So they both have quills, right? The porcupines are really, really long quills, and they have a similar look, don't they? But they're actually completely different families. There's multiple different species of both porcupines and hedgehogs, but hedgehogs are generally all much smaller. Porcupines are much larger. Porcupines are also, a lot of them are tree dwelling, and hedgehogs typically aren't. They dig burrows and everything, and they eat completely different things. So you think that they're pretty similar, but they're actually totally different families.
Now, if you think that you want a pet hedgehog, here's the thing to remember. Look at
Yep.
nice and easy. Come
She
on
wants
now.
me back.
I don't blame you. She actually might smell the reptile on me also.
She could.
Now, here's the thing. These creatures are night creatures. What is that called? Do you know? Nocturnal.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, so if you keep them up all during the day, that's not good and healthy for them. What they do is they come out at night and they're very active. So as a part of their caging, you're going to need a big hamster wheel, okay?
Yep.
Not a normal hamster wheel. This is a big hamster wheel, and you're going to hear them running
All
at night.
night long. So you may not want to keep your pet hedgie in your room. And the other thing is, look how tiny and short their little legs are. Could you believe that normally within the span of a night, they will walk a mile? They do, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for these tiny little legs, it's a lot. And they will run a mile on that wheel in their cage. You will hear it going all night long. I'd love to put like a Fitbit on it or something.
Now, Rebecca, I love hedgehogs and they're really cute. I had one by the name of Sonic, but after about 7 years, I can tell that he was starting to get ill, okay?
And that's a long time for them to live.
Yeah.
They don't live very
hedgehogs, their normal life expectancy is anywhere from 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay? Some people say 10, but really I'd say you're doing good if they are 5 years old.
Those are more larger breeds of hedgehogs that live longer. There are hedgehogs that live in the wild in Europe too, that are not these African pygmy hedgehogs, and they're larger, and they're actually what started Groundhog's Day. So hedgehogs will hibernate through the winter and then come back up in spring, and people in Europe would use that as Hedgehog's Day as an indicator that spring was coming. When the settlers came over to America, there were no hedgehogs. We have no hedgehogs native to here, so they just picked something that seemed kind of close. So it was Groundhog's Day.
Maybe we can use a hedgehog next time because
Be-wake.
remember they dropped the groundhog on Groundhog's Day?
Did they really?
Yes, they dropped
How did
them.
I miss that?
It was so, oh gosh. Anyway, guess what, guys? When we come back, we're going to have another cute and awesome animal.
Welcome to the Highlands Museum and Discovery Center.
Come on, let's go see what's inside. The Highlands Museum and Discovery Center is not only full of tons of history, but it's also a lot of fun.
Here's a sneak peek of Country Music Heritage Hall, which features Highway 23 entertainers and many local bluegrass artists. In the military exhibit located on the mezzanine level at the museum is the proposed replica of the Boyd County Honor Roll Memorial Wall.
Also in the military exhibit is one of the Highlands' most famous artifacts. It is Hitler's bedside phone, and yes, it is real.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next event?
Whether you have 50 people or up to 500,
Ashland's largest conference center has you covered. Adults and children of all ages enjoy our Discovery Center located in the lowest level of the Highlands Museum. To the Highlands Museum!
Aye, aye, Captain!
I'm Ranger Rebecca, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about Heritage Farm Museum and Village in Huntington, West Virginia. So here we are in the Heritage Farm Petting Zoo, and I'm with Thunder. We have all kinds of fun animals for your kids to be able to have an up-close interaction with. We are currently in the General Store Museum, and this is to show you what going to Walmart would have been like back in the 1800s. Our Transportation Museum has everything from some original Model Ts to a lot of things about trains, and 1908 electric truck, and more. It's really fun to come see how progress started with how we go from here to here. So it's really an interesting feel. It throws you back in time. If you haven't been here before, we hope you come out. There's lots of great things to do.
Hey Rebecca, check this out. This is Hufflepuff.
I love Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff's a chinchilla.
Now, here's what I really like about chinchillas, because I'm getting a little bit older and I'm missing a lot of hair on the back of my head. These guys have like 50 follicles or 50 pieces of hair in each follicle. Human hair is only about 3 hairs in each follicle.
Talk about getting that volume. They have got the optimal hair volume. And with that hair, they can't even get it wet. It's really important that it doesn't get wet because it will never dry. It is so dense. In the wild, where do they live in the wild?
They live in the Andes Mountains,
which are in South America. So they live in Peru and
Chile,
chinchilla, in the Andes Mountains, up really high. So you would expect them maybe not to live in a place where it's so cold, but it's so cold that they need all that hair to be able to keep them warm. But they take what we call dust baths. And here in a minute, we're gonna see if she will do that for us. But in the Andes Mountains, they actually do this in volcanic ash, which sounds epic, right? It's the leftover dust, if you will, from a volcano exploding. And this helps keep their hair dry and not oily, and helps it to be able to continue to keep them warm. If you have one as a pet, you make an artificial dust bath, and you put them in there a couple times a week and let them roll around and get their hair all nice and clean, not in the shower.
Now the sad thing is, these guys are listed as endangered in the wild because they have just been hunted for their fur and for their meat, both by indigenous peoples and by other people. Now, in 1920, there was a man, he was a miner, okay? And he asked the Chilean government for permission, and he took 11 wild ones from Chile, okay? And what he did is he brought it to the United States and he started breeding them. And they say that you can attribute your chinchilla, or just about any chinchilla, to those original 11 chinchillas.
Wow, that's really great, and a good story about how actually sometimes people who are having these animals as pets are helping keep their population alive. They are fun pets, but they're highly active. They are hard to contain. They are easily escape artists, and they're super fast and can jump super far. They can jump 6 feet. So they could jump from the ground all the way up onto a shelf, and then all the way over to the couch, and then all the way over underneath this cabinet, and they're really hard to catch. So that is a challenge of keeping a chinchilla as a pet. They're fast and they are really good jumpers.
Now, if you keep a chinchilla, What you're going to do is you're going to need a big multi-level cage because they like to jump. You're going to have certain special things in that cage to keep them happy. A dust bath is one, and also a wheel. That sounds familiar, right? They love their wheel. And chinchillas are so cute. You'll be sitting there and you'll hear this. And it's the chinchillas talking to each other, okay? So it's really neat to hear them chat back and forth. But again, look at the eyes. They're dark black, they're big, they're nocturnal, okay? And these guys take a lot of care. As a matter of fact, you're going to be cleaning that cage every day. The cage is terribly hard to clean. Warning to all you parents out there.
It ends up being your job.
Terribly hard to clean.
Well, do we want to see if she'll take a dust bath while we talk about her for a little bit more?
Yeah, go ahead and talk about her.
So another thing is, you'd think that maybe they would have a complex diet, but they really don't. If you have them as a pet, they really just like grasses and hay. In the wild, their diet's pretty bland. They eat buds and twigs and seeds and nuts, kind of bland. But they, she's taking a dust bath. Can you get it on the camera at all? It's so cute. Can you guys see?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. But anyways, so a lot of people can make the mistake of wanting to give their chinchillas, a bunch of sweet treats or even a bunch of veggies. But that can actually be harmful to them because they have really sensitive digestive tracts. Oh, your camera's shy now, sweetie. Oh, there she goes. So see, they're getting that fur all covered in the powder, and that's going to be able to suppress the oils so that they can be nice and squeaky clean. Speaking of squeaky, I don't know that we mentioned yet that they're a member of the rodent family. And rodents, does anybody know another kind of rodent? Hamsters, mice, guinea pigs, rats. Yep, exactly. Those are all rodents. And you guys typically think of those things as like not quite so cute, and you think these guys are super cute. That's why it's important not to just immediately assume that since something's a rodent, you should be afraid of it or that it's gross. They are really important, and rodents are all over the world on all of the continents and are super important role as small food little herbivores all throughout the world.
Chinchillas are so cool and they're so fluffy, yes.
What continents do they live on? Like what continents?
South America, for the chinchilla specifically. Rodents, I was saying, live all over on several different continents, but yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are very cute, but very time intensive. So think twice before you get one, but if you do, they're a lot of fun.
They sure are. Do you guys have any questions about hedgehogs or chinchillas before we go? Yeah?
A chinchilla related to a hedgehog.
A chinchilla what to a hedgehog? Oh, are they related? They're actually not related. People might think a hedgehog is a rodent, but it's not. It's a different kind of animal. But they do, I can see where you might think. They're both small and, yeah.
Did your hedgehog and your chinchilla get along?
Actually, they're his chinchillas and my hedgehogs, so they've never met until today.
What do hedgehogs eat?
Hedgehogs, okay, so hedgehogs in the wild eat a lot of insects. And so in captivity, when you have them, it's important to feed them a high protein pellet. Sometimes people even recommend like a kitten food, but they do sell hedgehog food, but it can be highly expensive and not too different from a kitten food. And you can also give them mealworms, dried mealworms. They love the dried mealworms.
The really cool thing about the hedgehogs are their ability to actually eat arthropods that are venomous or spiders that are venomous. I mean, anything that can eat a scorpion is pretty cool in my book.
Yeah, and I mentioned they're immune to the poisonous plants and things like that too, so pretty cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for following Discovery's Base Camp 1 here at the Highlands Museum. What an awesome place. Join us next time and we'll have more animals that you're interested in. Thank you.